It's a great honor, Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, to have you with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a great honor for me to be here in Wharton. This is the first time I am here. I mean, perhaps I have visited most of the universities of USA, uh, right from 1963 was my first tour abroad.
Mhm.
So straight from India to America, America was, so I was in the group of musicians and dancers, which included Birju Maharaj, the great Kathak dancer. He used to play tabla with me, and I used to play with his dance. In 1963, that was my first foreign tour of my life. For 2 months I traveled. Then most of my concert tour was for the universities and campus. And I'm looking forward to perform someday in Wharton with my sons Aman and Ayan.
Thank you very much. Well, you have been performing on the Sarod, I hear, from the age of 6 onwards.
Yes, I was told because fortunately, I was born in the family of musicians. So my sons, they are the 7th generation who are playing music from father to son. So, I mean, I was not a child prodigy. I had to work hard and struggle. So it was the custom of musician's family that the child should be put on the stage to face the world, to face the audience. Because in our life, classical musicians, I have nothing. I don't think I have any message to give to the business world, because my life is not based on calculation and planning.
What is it based on?
My life is based. In my life, 2 plus 2 is not always 4, and it could be 0. It could be 100, because in a literal sense, in our family, all my forefathers, we surrender ourselves to God and Guru. We never knew what is going to happen tomorrow. And so our tomorrow was always in the hands of God. We didn't try to calculate. I didn't even plan my career. What should I do? Because last 10 years of my father, who was my Guru, he was slowly deteriorating health-wise, and he was 95 when he passed away in 1972.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking after my father and going for performances and coming. So by serving him, I think my career was planned by his blessings and the blessings of... So I'm slightly different than the rest of the world, especially people who are into business, and because now everybody wants to plan their life and career.
Right. Well, how has the music business changed from the time when you first started performing and the way it is today? What do you find are the main differences?
You see, earlier, as you know, that every creative man was patronized by the ruler and king and queens. And sometime, or most of the time, it used to be a great punishment for the musicians to entertain somebody who doesn't understand any technicalities. So that was the time. After the patronization, then the music came in public, and there used to be music festivals in our country, all over Bengal. Bengal was the very big center, Maharashtra and South. And when I was 12 years old, people started inviting me. And so I traveled the whole country. In fact, India made Amjad Ali Khan. I had no management behind me. I didn't have a manager. So it was just out of love and reverence people invite you. And then one had to write what you want to, as a fee, what would you charge. So I began my career from 150 rupees, and gradually somewhere I started asking for 300, then 500, then 1,000. Gradually, and by the grace of God today. So the whole system of economy has changed. And today, I think the corporate world is playing a very important role. And especially corporate people who understand and realize the value of tradition, culture, and our heritage. They sponsor classical concerts. But there are very few music festivals left now in India. Like Bengal, in Calcutta itself, it used to be 30, 40 music festivals. But today, the oldest festival is called Dover Lane Music Festival, which takes place every end of January. About 4 whole night sessions they take, and it's all ticketed concerts. So that is it's a very good sign that every music festival. But I think the South India is more organized, because every organization, they have lots of thousands of members. And I feel that the mathematics played a very important role in South India. And mathematics connect all of us to a disciplined life. I feel the South Indians are more disciplined compared to rest of the country. Realization of God, realization of mathematics, discipline. I think South is much ahead, I feel. Otherwise, for North Indian music, Bengal and Maharashtra, a very big center, and so many great musicians. In our family, the meaning of education was only music.
Mm-hmm. What has music meant to you?
You see, in India, it's a historical saying that Swar hi Ishwar hai. That sound connects you to God. And if you analyze that every religion, through music only, they are conveying their thoughts. We call it bhajan or shabad or carols, hymns, and all those things. When my children were small, I composed a song. I made a cassette of how to entertain children. It's called Amjad Ali Khan Sarod Sings with the Children, produced by HMV at that time. Now it's Saregama. It's available now, also that album. I composed a song for my children when they were about 4 or 5 years old, Aman and Ayan. Ya Muhammad, Jesus Christ, Gautam Buddha, Guru Nanak Ji. Ya Muhammad, Jesus Christ, Gautam Buddha, Guru Nanak Ji. हम आपके बच्चे हैं, अपनी शरण में रखना. या Muhammad, Jesus Christ, Gautam Buddha, Guru Nanak Ji. Just to teach them the unity and diversity of our country, because I always admire, I feel the music is the most precious gift of God.
Right.
Because music does not belong to any religion. But these 7 notes, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, or sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni. And also, beside music, I admire flowers, colors, air, fire.
Right.
They don't belong to any religion.
Right.
So
you have this approach, a very spiritual approach to music, and thank you for sharing, your wonderful song with us. At the same time, you also find that music is a big global industry.
Yes.
Have you ever found a contradiction between your approach to music and the compulsions of how you remain a successful musician in this global marketplace?
You see, every musician has a different mission and different approach to music. But I often feel, or I always feel, that I should not be the cause of humiliation of Indian classical music, because I must always know when to end. That's very important. In our field, raga does not mean always 2 hours or 3 hours. Yes, I might have played also because there's no end to improvisation. But our whole life is, or my life is, dedicated to perfection, excellence, spirituality. And through music I have realized the presence of God. And so the presentation, in the world of, we all say now the world has become a global village. But the Western world was always very organized as far as artist and management is concerned. In our country, our management was very weak. And now it is, we have event managements now, managers, and they are, but nothing in comparison to the Western world. I have management in Europe, but I'm still looking for a more efficient management in America. Though I've been performing since coming and all the time, but I still need, in case if you come across somebody, because European musicians, they are very fortunate.
Yes.
They are very lucky, and they depend entirely on the management and the manager. But sometimes in our country, people, they feel emotionally, they feel humiliated if we don't entertain them. So people write email to my wife, and my wife has been coordinating for me for so many years.
Right.
Subulakshmi, my wife comes from Assam, and she was a great Bharatnatyam dancer. And she was named after M.S. Subulakshmi.
Okay.
So she became Subulakshmi. And fortunately, our family had a very good relation with M.S. Subulakshmi. And her guru was Rukmani Arundel, who has a institution in Chennai, Kalakshetra. Right. So after our marriage, Rukmani Arundel gave a big reception under that banyan tree. So management is the only, we need a good management. Otherwise, today we have very, very outstanding young talented musicians. And beside classical music, classical music is there. We still, everybody is listening to classical music, but suddenly there is so much fusion music, which has come, and most of the corporate people and some kind of functions, they want to.
But what is your view of these trends? Do you embrace them, or do you think that it is better to be more of a purist to preserve the tradition?
You see, tradition allow innovation. There's a very little thin line between tradition and convention. I feel that convention is a very unhealthy word. I don't respect convention, because convention imposes that you must do only like this. But me, from my childhood, I have been, what I felt right, I did in my presentation. And recently, I have worked with Scottish Chamber Orchestra. And I composed for their orchestra. And it is the first Sarod concerto. I am playing with 40, 50 musicians. So last year, in fact, I composed and we performed together in Glasgow and Edinburgh and London. And that we have called this piece, it's about 45 minutes piece. It's called Samagam, the Conference of Music. And so I hope one day I could bring it to USA. And it's something different, because this collaboration, I feel that the world is interested more in collaboration. I always admire European classical music, because they still listen to Beethoven, Bach, Mozart, but still they want collaboration.
Right. Although you say that this is your first time at Wharton, you are using terms like innovation and collaboration, which so many companies
Yes.
invest a lot of money in. So
I see.
could you say a few words about your approach to innovation in your music,
Yes.
and what can companies learn from your approach to innovation?
Uh, I mean, mm, education for me, as I said earlier also, uh, for the rest of the world, education is book knowledge. But in my family, in my life, I did not learn anything from the book. This was the oral tradition. Our music is oral tradition. And my father, my guru, he strongly believed that one person cannot do everything in one lifetime. Whether you spend your life in books or you spend your life in sound. Because there's two world, very rich world of sound, and other word is world of words. So thank God I belong to the world of sound. Sound, ordinary people cannot understand what sound is. But sound is equally as rich as any books and other words. So sound, and basically the sound has connected the whole world. The 7 notes, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, da, ra, 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 da, ra, 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 ra. But the way of his performance is different, way of interpretation is different. But in our classical music, we are blessed with this grace that we can slide and glide between 1 note to 5 notes, 6 notes. Da, ra, ra, re, na, re. So this is the height of grace, height of submission. Otherwise, the rest of the world is. This is also, as I said, I admire European classical music. I admire that 150 musicians together. They collectively produce a beautiful piece of music. And now, maybe I'm slightly late than rest of my fellow musicians. But now, because of my long legacy and lineage, I took time to collaborate with European music. But now I'm enjoying, and I hope this collaboration, because I feel that the whole world is merging, the companies are merging, people are realizing, one side is everybody wants to live alone in this world, but other side, people are realizing the strength of togetherness, strength of merger and collaboration. So because my father often used to say that you have to become a complete musician. And I didn't understand what he meant. Perhaps now I understand. The person who can be called complete musician if he can see good points in every system of music. If he can appreciate good points in every system of music. So, but in our country, you see, the relationship between, lots of youngsters, they grew up listening to me while they were in school or while they were in college, while they were in IIT, and so lots of business tycoons today, they heard me while they were in college. So we have a very good relation, very good, and this goodwill you generate, it doesn't happen quickly. And my way of life, my beliefs, in our family, we feel connected with every religion, with every soul of the world, with every song of the world.
Music has been transformed so much by technology in recent times. What has that meant to your music and the way you view music?
You see, technology is very important. And in music also, we have musicologists. They are great, they are knowledgeable, but they are not great performers. But sometimes they want to perform, they want to sing, they want to do everything. But there will be always a difference between somebody who has done 18 hours practice, riyaz, sadhana. And technology is important, I think. Technique is important. But the technology and tradition has to be friends. Right. This is my humble message to all the business and all the students who are learning here. That technology and tradition has to be friends. And I'm sorry, but I have realized that, with all my due respect to education, because a lot of people boast about education and PhD and MBA and double this and double that. Education could not create compassion and kindness in a human being. All these destructive activities after 9/11, what's happening, they are all very, very highly educated people behind this. So, and today's human being, because of the achievements of education and finance and business tycoons, but today's, what I realize, a successful man becomes a symbol of arrogance and destructive elements.
What would you like your legacy to be in the world of music?
You see, creative people in every field, sometime we become very arrogant also. A lot of creative people, they don't behave in a normal way. And we have to be normal, and we have to, I understand, I personally feel that I wish I was born 100 years before. Sometimes I feel, because this technology is becoming so advanced and so sophisticated day by day, that man is going to meet only the machines. Machine will check you in, machine will fly you, machine will do this. But at the same time, I feel proud to see the achievement of mankind, like cell phone, fax machine, iPod, and the keyboard. Keyboard is the shortcut of music, I feel. That keyboard, a lot of youngsters, they are entertained, and I think it's a very great invention. Hats off to, I think it was Japan created keyboard. And now children are playing with keyboard, Casio, and a lot of music directors. But what I feel sad, that because of this keyboard, a lot of musicians have lost their job in the orchestra in Bombay and in India especially, because a keyboard can produce the sound of flute and violin and cello. Thank God there is no Sarod sound in keyboard. But but certain keyboard sound is very jarring for me, and I'm sure there are outstanding keyboard players also. In our country, we have Louis Bank, a great keyboard player, and I'm sure there are many more. So, behind every instrument, I think there has to be somebody whose music is appealing, and music has to be appealing. That's most important.
Well, it's been a great honor and a pleasure speaking to you today.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
I would like to bring my sons, Aman and Ayan, and someday it will be a great honor and pleasure to perform in Bolton, in your university. And I hope the business people, people who care for tradition and culture, they must think how to preserve, how to popularize, and how to give greater honor to our art form, Indian classical music.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.